This is the B-side, B-side, B-side of marriage. This is the B-side, B-side, B-side of marriage.
Hi, and welcome to another episode of the Bside of Marriage Podcast. My name is Rashonda, and this is my husband,
Jason.
And this is a podcast where we talk about everything related to marriage, the good, the bad, the A and the B side. And if this is your first time tuning in, thank you and welcome. We're so excited to have you here with us. We talk about everything related to marriage. We are known as your marriage champions, okay? We want to see other couples, succeed in their relationship. And so we just share tips and just stuff.
We've learned
through our almost 13 years of marriage. So we try to have some fun along the way. We'll see. And so our first segment is where we share an ARB side moment from the week. And with that being said, Jason always goes first. So Jason.
Yeah. So I was reading this post and from a fellow friend of ours. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to read what he said, and it just made me think of like, say A side, because just where we've been through, you know? So he basically said, you really don't need a fancy website or a degree hanging on the wall to be an elite coach in your space. Even though your logic mind says you need them. Most of you in this and I'll just keep going. He's like, here's what I mean. You lead people every day, maybe for a company that you help make millions yearly. You teach and train people daily at school, universities, and churches. You live the great marriage and you have given a lot of your nuggets away over the years. You may have people wanting to live the life you are living or may not even realize it. And he said his point is God has fully resourced you with everything you need to crush it as a coach. So when I read that, it was just like, you know what, that's true. You know, for me and my wife, we've taught a lot over the years, even in our jobs, even in the passion that God has has given us. Mm-hmm. But, it's like, I'm grateful and I'm thankful for, the space that God has put us in now and where he's going to take us because, again, this is just a stepping stone for him to do what he wants to do for in this world. So it was just something good that I saw.
Oh, that's good. A way to be positive. I think I'm going B-side.
Okay.
So Jay's work schedule has changed.
Oh, transition again.
Yeah. And I didn't realize how much I was thriving with your inconsistent.
Okay.
With your inconsistent schedule before.
Okay.
Because it's easier to be like, I guess it was easier to hand off certain things to you because you had the time.
Yeah.
Now you're inconvenienced the same time I'm inconvenienced.
Correct. And
that does not really work for our crazy family.
Yeah.
So it's really been tough because even us recording a podcast, we do not like to record when our kids are home.
Correct.
Because they're allowed, no matter how much we threaten them, bribe them, they're still allowed.
Yeah.
So, and we also don't want I don't want Jay to have to spend endless hours trying to edit the videos. So I was just, so that's why I said it's B-side. Trying to get all the scheduling down. But change is coming again because NBA season is starting soon.
We'll go back to a similar schedule.
We'll go back to having a little bit more flexibility. I just feel like, that's what it's like. God knows what we need. Because I'd be like, I wish you had a regular job where you can have your weekends off.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
now I got my weekends off.
Exactly. We have to pile so much like family stuff now.
Yeah.
Well, not just, so before when you just had the one day off, we can pile it up with family stuff because we took care of business during the week.
Correct.
And now it's just like, no, we got to do business and family.
Yeah.
And then it just makes it to where like, where'd the weekend go? Like,
exactly.
So yeah.
No, you're right. You're right about that.
So yeah, but it'll be going back to where it's a little bit easier for us to manage.
Yeah.
As soon as the season starts. Yeah. Okay. So that's my B-side.
So now we got your B-side out the way. What are we going to talk about today?
All right. So we're going to talk about, so right now, what's trending on Twitter is that a lot of people are putting up like sayings and then putting the red flags.
Okay.
So basically,
I'm not on the Twitter then.
I'm not on the Twitter either, but at least they reposted to Instagram and I was like, oh, okay.
I don't know
so I can see the trend. Okay. Well, yeah. So they'll be like, I'm to try to remember some of the funny ones I saw. It's like, if he doesn't respond to your text within 10 hours, red flag. If he cleans his shoes more than you wash your hair, red flags. Cause they're like sneakerheads.
No, I know. I'm laughing because my boot. Yeah. When I used to my tennis.
Exactly. Yes. So I was like,
I took a lot of time.
But yeah. So I've seen like that. So a lot of the like experts have also jumped in. Like the financial experts will be like, okay, so if he doesn't have, or if you don't have a emergency savings account, red flag. Okay. So anyway, so like it's funny, but I was like, I hope people are really just keeping it as fun because in relationships, there are red flags, but there are also non-negotiables.
That's a good one.
So it's funny you have to say about the text, like, if he doesn't respond immediately, respond to your text immediately, that's a red flag. But in actuality, that shouldn't be a red flag because what if he's just busy with work? What if he's just preoccupied and can get back to you?
That's true.
What if he responds back at 10:05?
Yeah.
Is he still?
Is that so rough?
You're right. Yeah. So I just want to talk about that. So I want to start off with some definitions of red flags versus non-negotiables. So red flags are just a warning of potential danger.
Okay. No, that's true.
And a non-negotiable is something that is not open to discussion or for modification. It's just, there's no solutions, just cannot work around it.
Wow.
And so I thought about that because I feel as though those get confused, especially when you're dating.
It can be easily confused.
Because also another thing you have to add into the equation are differences. So there's differences, there's red flags. Oh, okay. So I'm going to ask you before I go there. Do you think that all differences are red flags?
No. I don't think all differences are red flags. Okay. And I'll say this because we are different.
Yes.
We was raised differently. We lived in 2 different states.
Yep.
So we're going to have a difference. So that doesn't always mean it's a red flag. It's getting understanding of why there's a difference. Okay. I guess that's how I feel, because if I don't understand why you do certain things, I need to get an understanding of why you do that. Then if it's just something that's, I would say, if it's, what's the word when you do something just to do something to mess with somebody?
Petty?
Yes.
Spite?
If it's you doing just you want to be petty and spiteful, that's a red flag. Okay. But if there's a difference of, I guess, and I'll put how with us, how we deal with finances, that's a difference. Yes. I never really cared about my credit score. It was more about I pay the bill when I can pay the bill. But for you, it's different. You know, it's different. It's like, no, let's pay it. Let's make sure it's paid when it's due.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it.
I agree. Definitely, everybody's going to be different.
Yeah.
There's going to be differences. And I feel like even if there is a difference because red flags are subjective.
Correct.
I might consider something to be a red flag. You might not, and vice versa.
Correct.
But even if something is a red flag, doesn't mean you throw that person or that relationship away.
Correct.
Red flags are like the definition. They're a warning of potential danger.
Correct.
That means that if you see something as a red flag in your relationship, then that's something that you guys need to talk about. Yeah. That means that that's something that has a solution that you guys need to just work through and figure out what will be the solution for you guys.
Correct.
Because just to take your example about the finances. So the way that I saw Jay managing his money, that was a red flag, but it wasn't like, oh, he don't know what he doing. He out. No, that's when we had the conversation of, okay, because I wanted to understand, first of all, because I thought it was very interesting. I said, why? Like, we literally sat down, talked about why did he do it that way? And he said, because that's what he saw his mama do. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because I saw my parents do things the opposite way. Yeah. And so that's why I'm like, so we work through, okay, so this is what we're both coming from. Mm-hmm. What makes this most sense for us to do together?
That's correct. Yep.
We worked it out. Mm-hmm. We tried it one way. That didn't work. We tried it a different way. That didn't work.
I even tried to do the finances even after we had and that didn't work. So.
I know. I was like, okay, maybe yes. Because it was like, if he can understand where I'm coming from and how I would like him to do it, then he can do it. It did not work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out.
But it was also, too, because time management and stuff. So he had more time to be able to do it. But it just does not come natural. The way that, because I'm into the details. Yeah. So the way that I would like it done, it's easier for me to just do it than him. Because he's just like,
Because I'm trying to do it the way she does it, and I don't get her processes.
Right.
So I'm just like, okay.
Because I created the spreadsheet. I'm like, okay, this is how you maintain it. And he's like, but why?
Like I said, I tried it, but it was like I couldn't get her process. To me, it was just like, I understand debits and credits. Yeah. I understand it, but I don't get your okay.
My whole
like,
process,
you know what? You can have it. Like,
right. And it was because this was something that I was not comfortable in just letting him do it his way, just because he had a different way of doing things. Mm-hmm. And so I just didn't trust that his new way would be detailed enough to satisfy me. So it's just easier. But anyway, so that's what I'm saying. So red flags are not throwaways. Correct. They are just things that you need to address. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So now I think there are, so I think red flags do have a place in a relationship, like we just, made an example of. As they come up, especially as you're dating, and this is the tricky part about marriage. As you're dating, you might not always be presenting your full self. Because you're dating, right?
You want them to see the best of you.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's hard to really identify those those things that are just little pet peeves.
And because you're kind of in that honeymoon stage too.
Well, we're not there. I mean, yes, but yes. Yeah. It's like, I want him to like me. Yeah. I want him to see that there could be a potential future with me. Gotcha. So I'm going to present my way with minimal flaws.
Correct.
Okay. So you're dating, so you don't really get to see any red flags. You'll see differences and pet peeves, but you won't really see any red flags.
Okay.
Typically. All right. Then you're engaged. Mm-hmm. Then y'all got to pay for this wedding or figure out the wedding or whatever. That may cause some more true colors to appear. Okay. Also, if you're having to move, like we were talking about last week, you might be from two different states, or one of you guys might get a promotion to where you have to move, from the state that you grew up in or whatever. So there might be that component. So you're starting to feel some pressures.
Yeah.
So true colors might show up. You might see a few more red flags. Or you might actually now start seeing some red flags.
Okay.
But I think what really happens is that when people get married, they don't want to feel stuck in something.
Okay.
And when they see a red flag, they immediately equate it to a non-negotiable. And be like, I'm out. He don't want to do his laundry. I'm tired of cleaning up him. He's a grown man. I should not have to clean up after him. I'm out.
Okay.
But while y'all were dating, while you're engaged, that never came up as a non-negotiable. So that's what I think the tricky part is. Now, we talked about non-negotiables.
Yeah, we did.
I don't think we said this is my non-negotiable. I think we just said, like, we ain't gonna stick around. Like, they were our non-negotiables, but we didn't officially tag them as.
Yeah, we didn't.
Do you remember any?
Honestly, I do. I remember we had.
I don't remember any.
I remember when we did our premarital counseling. That's where we talked about some of them. That's what because I remember. Yeah, that was a tough session.
That was because we hadn't had any kind of conversation about it until then.
Yeah. So I remember that was, because again, and I know for me what was one, and I'll just say it was I wanted sex. Was it 4 times a week?
Oh, this whole sex requirement.
Yeah, I
feel like that should get thrown out. But yes, go ahead.
Don't say that for me. In my mind at that point, I was like, you know what? I wanted 4 times a week.
You did say that.
I know I did. I'm not going to.
Okay, so let's just break this one down. Let me tell you why this was retarded. I shouldn't say that.
No,
this was it was never going to be a met expectation.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you do that over again?
Yeah, do it over.
Okay. So let me tell you why this requirement was never going to be met. Okay?
Yeah.
I was traveling. I literally left either Sunday night or Monday morning, and I didn't come back until either late Thursday night or Friday morning. So how you gonna get 4 days in there?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. That's 4.
Thursday, I said late.
It's still, you get in Thursday, it's still late.
I am tired.
Hey, I'm just saying, you asked.
I said, you set yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for this is not going to work. And then you don't want me to, and then it was like, well, I don't want you to feel obligated. You want a certain, sir, you cannot have it both ways.
Yeah.
So that was a very interesting, because it never came up.
It never did.
And then all of a sudden, wait, what? Sorry?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that was a good example. I really forgot about that.
So before you go on, something I just thought about.
Okay.
The whole thing, and when she was talking about red flags.
Yes.
And then they just turned to non-negotiables. I just thought of, I don't know why, is being a stop sign or stopping at a red light. We think of red as always being, like you said, it's like, oh, I'm done, I'm out.
Yes.
But when we come to a stoplight, what do? We see red, we stop. There's a period of time where we're staying at that one thing, and then what happens? You go. So if there's a red flag, you should stop and take the time to have the conversation to understand, why is that, why do you do certain things? And then you can go.
Right. And what caused you to react or feel as though this might be a non-negotiable?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that is something within you that has been triggered by their behavior.
Correct.
So you need to, and that's why you need to talk. And that's why, like I said, even with the finances examples, that's why we talked about it and realized Jay did his finances the way because that's what he saw his mom do.
Yeah.
And I saw my dad do it a different way. So that's why I was like, it makes sense. But it's because and the reason to even go even deeper on that, the reason why the way that Jay did his finances caused me to be like, wait, hold up. It's because of the way my dad would always give at church in the way that he managed his finances. Yeah. So I was like, oh, no. Because if that's the way that you see it, if it's in the account, you going to give it away. You just gonna give it to the church. And I'm like, no, we have to pay our mortgage. We got to do this with it. It's just there, but it's already accounted for. Okay. So that's why I was like, I can't do that. I was like, I cannot. Because growing up, of course, I wasn't in the checkbook. Yeah. But it appeared to me as a kid, it's like, oh, if we have any money, we got to give it to the church. Gotcha. So, but that's what I said. It triggered something in me to where I was like, wait, hold on. We got to talk about this. And then we worked it out. But just like Jay was saying, it wasn't something we couldn't go past. We got to the stop light. Yeah. We recognized there was an issue. We worked it out. Yeah. And then we waited until we got the green light and we moved on.
A red flag does not mean go. A red flag means stop.
Stop and evaluate.
Yeah, stop and evaluate. Not ooh, red flag, green, go. No, that's not what it's red for a reason.
U-turn. Yeah, I gotta get out of here.
It's meant for you to stop, evaluate, and then you can proceed. So
now, I do think that when you have a red flag or you identify a red flag in your relationship, if you are unable to address that, like come up with a solution, then you need to seek external help. Like either go to a therapist, go to marriage counseling, go to a marriage coach to be able to work through that. Correct. I do think red flags can escalate to non-negotiables. Yes. For instance, like if someone is quick to get angry and they immediately start like throwing things and yelling at you and
raising their hands.
Yes, right. That could escalate to a non-negotiable if you voice your concerns and the behavior is not changed or there's no desire to change the behavior.
That's okay. I think that's key. Yeah. There's the desire not to change. Just like saying, this is who I am. It's like, okay. Yeah. Like that's, I think that's more.
That is exactly because like we started off saying you're different people and that might have been how they were able, that might be the way that they know how to communicate. Yeah. Is when, is by yelling. Yeah. And you may be the opposite, but that's why you have to have a conversation. But if they're unwilling to work through it, then that's when it might become a non-negotiable. Yeah. I would say another red flag that could escalate would be lying. Excessive lying. Just lying to be lying. And I've dated some who just be lying and just secretive. Like, okay. And I never understood this. I mean, I'm not saying I've never lied. Yeah. But they were well-placed lies. Like they, I'd never just lie to be lying. Because it's too much effort.
Okay. So let me, it's not, again, I'll say it like this. It's more about acting like you're somebody you're not. Just kind of like the conversation we had once before. You're lying because one, you're either, what's the word? Either you're not confident in yourself and you think this person would like you or, like you even more if you make this up. Or on the other turn is, that your actions are wrong. So for you to make them feel better, you lie about it. Again, so I'm just
But mind you, he wasn't the liar that I was talking about.
I know. I'm not saying. I'm just saying that.
Doesn't it take a lot of time and energy? And then you have to keep up with what you said.
But that's the thing. When you're so used to just doing it, you're not thinking about trying to keep up with it. Yeah. You're trying to please that emotion, that feeling in the moment. You're not thinking about. You're not thinking about later on about what it is.
Okay. All right. So.
And I'm just saying that's.
I get what you're saying. I don't agree, but I get what you're saying. So yeah, so if you bring that up, it's like, listen, I see we can't, like, there's no future if you cannot be completely honest with me. Because there's a way that you can be honest without being hurtful. So,
but that goes to,
I know,
like, if that's, and I'll say,
but that's
like
what
this.
I'm saying. But you talk about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said. Is a red flag that can potentially become a non-negotiable, because also too, it's not something that you can put a time on it. You can't be like, okay, I see that you're doing a lot of lying. Okay, if you lie to me again, then I'm out.
Yeah,
because that's not reasonable. Because apparently this is a behavior.
Yeah, like this is something that you
exactly.
If it's something you've been doing for 30 years of your life.
Yeah, you can't just change.
Yeah, to give that person,
overnight.
you got one more time. It's like. Yeah. Like, I've been doing this it's not that easy to just stop doing something like that. But they have to, be willing and try. And then the moments when they do fall, come clean. Just be like, that was not the truth. I'm trying. But like, you know how in church, they be like, the Lord's still working on me. The Lord's still working on me, but that could eventually escalate. And then also I have one now about never taking ownership of their actions, always blaming somebody else. It was because such and such did whatever, and never saying they're sorry for doing wrong. Like, I get it's hard to always, like, not always, but I get it's hard to apologize, because that's something we're learning to do with our kids, because that wasn't, modeled for us. Yeah. But never. You just got to own up to your actions. Yeah, we're experiencing this with our oldest son. It's never his fault. No matter if we see him, watch him do. Mm-hmm. Nope, it was Ivy, it was the dog, it was anybody. Somebody made him do it. Do it. Yes. So that can get annoying quickly. Yeah. And so if you're not willing to work on that, that will eventually become a non-negotiable. Yeah. So, all right. So I want to talk about now, let's talk about some non-negotiables. Also, too, why do non-negotiables always have to be seen in a negative way? Because that's how it's taught. That's how read the definition again. Not open to discussion or modification. Not open. That's a negative thing, saying, no, this is not open. That's negative. That's a negative, being that it's like, no, I'm not going to do that. Mm. That's what I was like, it's in the definition. I guess. But I feel like the reason why I'm like, I guess, is because I feel like there should be non-negotiables in your marriage. Mm-hmm. In your relationship. Okay. I'll talk about some positive ones though. But what I listed 4. I want 4. Let's talk about just 4 of them. Okay. I know the most common, and many of you might think that's what I'm going to say, but I'm not. It did not make my list. What's that? Non-negotiable is if you cheat. I'm out. Okay. I don't think infidelity is a non-negotiable. I think it'll be extremely tough to get over, but I know of couples who have been able to get over it, to work through it. It's a lot of work. Do not do it by yourselves. I will say that. You definitely need a professional to help you navigate and help you to rebuild that trust. But I wouldn't say it's a non-negotiable. Mm-hmm. Also, too, because the running joke is, if he leaves, I'm leaving with him. So if he cheats, then they got to make sure that they got money, because all of us coming. I got too many kids to do this by myself. Too many kids. Too many responsibilities. No. You're not going to take the easy way out. But that's just a running joke. But so that did not make my list. But I do think we need to have 4 non-negotiables. Okay. We have at least 4 non-negotiables in our relationship. Mm-hmm. And the first one I say is respect. I agree.
Yeah, no matter what we're going through, if we're not seeing eye to eye on something, I have to respect him as my husband first. Well, no. First, probably as a man of God. First. Second, as my husband. And then third, as the father of my children. So, yes, we might be going through a sticky situation, but I'm not going to fight dirty. I'm not going to say nothing to be disrespectful.
Be a petty patty.
Okay, so I don't think being petty is the same. Like, you can be a little petty. I can be petty, but still be respectful.
Okay.
Like, I just won't make enough food for you.
Yeah, that's petty.
And feed the kids.
That's petty. Yeah, you're right.
That's respectful, though, because we still got food in the kitchen.
You're right.
So,
Okay.
I can find ways to be a little petty.
Okay.
But I will always respect him in the feelings mutual. Like, he will always respect me. We're not gonna get into the name calling.
Like I said, for instance, when you lost your job.
Yes.
I didn't go in on her about why she's focusing on the job that you don't have anymore. And I say I could have done that, but I could have done that, and that wouldn't be respectful to you. But what I did was I respected that and understood that that was a major part of your life for 9-10 years. Mm-hmm. And I can't expect you just to get over it after, now you don't work anymore, get over it. I have to respect that you need your time to be able to, it's just like losing somebody in your family. Mm-hmm. You have to be able to move through the process and then come out on the other side.
Mm-hmm. And I have to respect, as I said, I have to respect that position, like his position in my life. Like, just because we might be fighting or something's happened to where things have changed or there's external pressures, whatever, that does not make you my husband, So I don't know. I'm thinking, I can't really voice what I'm trying to say, but I'm just like, because the deal is like, usually when couples go at it, then they demote the husband down to that's just my baby daddy.
Gotcha.
And then if they get a divorce, they be like, oh, that trifling baby daddy. Like, that's where all the name calling's going on. I'm just like, but you were like in love with him at one point. That was your husband.
And that's your child's father. Yeah.
And that's your child's father. And children will look at you
the way that
and then they will start treating that person the way you're treating them.
Correct.
So that's like, at the end of the day, it still has to be a level of respect in our relationship.
That's true.
2, non-negotiable is that we always pursue each other.
Oh yeah.
Some might not be.
Go ahead and say it. That's what I already know.
No, because he is crazy. But it's like some not be appropriate in front of kids. Listen. But we always pursue each other.
I saw something this past week on Instagram, which was hilarious. Oh. A guy was like, he walked up to you, he's holding the camera. He's like, you wanna get your kids to go to bed real fast? He walks up to his wife and like start kissing her on the neck and stuff like that. And then you see the kid, this is nasty. I'm going to bed. And they walking upstairs. So I'm just like, listen.
Oh,
before y'all got here, it was us. Yes. I was like, you gonna see me being affectionate to my wife. I don't care how y'all feel about it.
Yeah.
So it's like, that's why I was like, hey, I'm funny that way and I do certain things. Yes, because this is my wife. I'm going to express my affection towards her. And if the kids see it, hey, they going whatever we do, they're going to show that as well.
Right. And they'll think it's normal.
Exactly.
So we're actually normalizing affection in front of them.
Yes.
Yes. So I have an example too of me pursuing Jay. Mm-hmm. So there's the saying of a way to a man's heart is through his stomach.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was a bachelorette and was dating, like, we had just started dating, I could not cook. I knew how to make spaghetti. I didn't really, because I didn't have to cook. I was traveling for work. Before that, I was a college student. So you already know how that, what that meal plan looks like, right? So I didn't feel a need. And then when I come home, my parents and everybody would always cook for me. So I was just like, I don't know how to cook. Oh, if I'm trying to be serious with this dude, I probably need to know how to make a dish or two. So I went out and bought this. I think it's called the African American Heritage Cookbook. Anyway, because so this is another thing. I digress. I'm coming back to it. My family is made up of cooks. My dad's side, my mama's side, they know how to cook. But one thing they're not going to do is share that recipe. Okay? Yeah. They're not going to share the recipe. There are a couple of aunties, you know who you are, that I was just like, you don't have to write anything down. I just want to come and watch you make the peach cobbler and the lemon pound cake.
Yeah.
They will never call me. They will just show up at the family reunion or the family function with another peach cobbler, another cake. Auntie, I thought you were supposed to call me. No. So because everybody's hush-hush on the recipes, I had to go buy a book.
Yeah. And
out of the book, I picked something that I probably should not have started with. So it ended up becoming my shrimp surprise. Yes. That was the first dish other than spaghetti that I learned how to cook. And it was spicy and it was hit and miss if I made it right. I need to find it and make it again. But yes.
Well, yeah.
So that's how I learned how to start cooking. I was like, okay, that didn't turn out too bad. I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do the old heritage folks, like recipes. Let me stick to some on the internet. Well, at that time, that's when like the internet was like becoming a thing, like to find like just Google random information. So I was like, all recipes, let's go. So I would just print out. But what was funny is I would print out the recipes, cook, because I would only cook on the day that he was arriving. Yeah. Because I could hide the recipes after I made it. So he thought I was cooking. Like, oh, this girl can cook. I can. Here you go. If it didn't come out of a box with the recipe on the back.
That's hilarious.
So yeah. But yeah, this was like, but now look how far we've come.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so that is one way, like, and now that we're foodies, and so it works out. But yeah, it was funny. Yeah. All right. Number 3, commitment. Mm-hmm. And I know we're like a broken record.
We've said this multiple times.
But at the end of the day, commitment. If you cannot be committed to me, then we gotta go. It gotta go. We gotta end it. It's non-negotiable.
Like I said, if you're committed to going to your job, working every day, then if you're getting married, you're married to somebody, you should be able to commit that same energy or even more energy to something. I would want to think
better energy.
Okay, let me finish.
Okay.
If you want that relationship to last, your work, you commit all this time to it, that relationship's not going to last because at any minute they can let you go. It's more about, again, I'm not going to say it's more about them bottom dollar, but it's more about what they want, not what you want. Mm-hmm. But then with your marriage, you can focus on your marriage and put more energy in your marriage. And that's going to be something that's lifelong.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was like, that's why I think it should be a different energy.
Oh.
I don't want you to just show up in your marriage like you show up for work. Because some of y'all don't like your jobs.
Oh, okay.
So
no, that's
everybody's
true.
Not like you.
That's true. So
it's like some people don't like the job, so I don't want you to just show up in your marriage. Just be like, I'm here. I get credit when I get to clock in, clock out. No. Can't do that.
I got you. I
need that good energy. Now, I understand you can't keep, and that's why I said good, not high, because there are some days where we are dragging.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And we're just trying to get through the day. But that is not the norm.
Correct.
And that's what I was trying to say.
Okay.
All right. And our fourth one is, I know that was nice, huh? Honesty. I think this is something where we did not say explicitly, like, you got to be honest with me. But this is something that I felt has defined our relationship. Is us being able to be completely truthful, even when we're sharing information the other person might not want to hear.
Correct.
And
that happened on our first long calls.
Yes. Oh.
Happened on one of our very first calls.
Wait, what? Uh-oh.
You remember the conversation when we had a heated discussion, but it wasn't like, oh, forget it, we out.
Oh, about church?
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
It was like, that was...
Oh, I was like, wait,
no,
what?
that's what I'm talking about. Like, it started there.
Yeah.
And then throughout even when we was dating, you know, I was always, and this is, I always told her what I was doing, where I was going. And it wasn't because I was trying to make her feel comfortable. It's just, that's what I did. You know, it was just something I would tell her just so she would know, not so much where it's like, oh, I'm telling you to just this so I can go do this. No, I was just telling you, like, here, I'll be here. If you give me a call, give me a call. Like, I would always let her know where I'm at, what am I doing.
Yes.
So.
And he was always honest about his past.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was like, I don't, like, it was to the point where he was offering information. I was like, I didn't even ask about that. Like,
I was putting all the chips on the table.
I was
but
I didn't ask.
I get that.
Like, okay, thank you.
Didn't want anything to come up later on. Again, me not thinking about it. Maybe, you know, you may have not been asking, but maybe you were asking, but you was trying to be subtle about it. So I was like, hey, just let you know all now. Like,
No. I quickly learned that I had to be like, I'm only asking this. Like, I'm asking this.
You got to be specific what you're asking.
Don't give me the whole...
Yeah. I'm a talker, so.
Yes. And I was like, I didn't ask for all that. I do not know what. No, I got this. I was like, I do not know what to do with this information. I do not know. So, but we're still together.
Yes, we are.
But yeah, I think honesty is key. I had mentioned before, either today or the previous episode where we were talking, that you can deliver your truth without being hurtful. To the other person who's receiving it. Even if it is something like difficult or something that they might not want to hear, you can still be, it goes back to our first one, respectful. You can still be respectful in sharing that information and being honest. And I think one thing that we're really trying to do is be more vulnerable with our honest communications, so that we are explaining the why or what was triggered in us when we're having these honest conversations.
Okay.
Yeah, because some of our conversations are funny. And then some are, you know, a little more serious or whatever. Yeah. So, but we always want to make sure that we're including the intent behind what we're sharing. I'm being honest, but yeah, I think honesty and respect go hand in hand.
Yeah, and even as we are sharing more, not saying sharing more, but sharing that vulnerable part, that just it makes our bond stronger because we're going deeper. It's not just on the surface level. Yeah, we're going deeper. So there, like you said, you're getting the why behind it. You're getting a more understanding of that feeling, that emotion, or whatever we're sharing. So
right, and that goes to into like your self-work. Like, there are things that I can't share with Jay because I don't know them about myself. But as I'm learning myself even more by doing, you know, by doing my work on me, then I'm able to offer that to Jay in full transparency and full honesty, whatever. Because sometimes I just like, I don't know. I just kind of felt doing like that. And then it comes to me later as to why. Oh, maybe it's because of this.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I would say those are kind of like our 4 top non-negotiables.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else?
No, I don't. Okay. I don't have anything else.
So I want everybody to enjoy the red flag conversation on social media because there are some hilarious ones out there. But at the end of the day, make sure in your marriage and your relationship that you're differentiating between red flags and non-negotiables, and don't throw a perfectly solid relationship away based on a red flag that is just something that you guys need to take a pause and address.
Again, remember the analogy of the stop sign or a red light.
Yeah.
A red flag does not mean go, turn around, make a U-turn. It means stop and evaluate.
And assess. Stop, look, and listen.
Then you can go, but it doesn't mean that you just need to run away. That's not what it says. So.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, and know that red flags are subjective.
Yeah.
Red flags in one relationship is going to be different in another. And so you just need to make sure that you're truly assessing. That's what's like, stop, look, and listen, like for real. You have to really assess that red flag to determine if, after you've attempted to try to talk through it, if no solution can be found,
get out.
Then it is a non-negotiable, and then you have to do what's best for you.
Okay.
That's all I have to say.
All right. Well, thank you again for listening, watching.
Yes. Be sure to follow, review, and comment, and subscribe. I think it covered all of them there.
Yeah.
And please, y'all, give us a review, give us a comment. Let us know, how all of, what we're talking about is landing with you guys. If you have a different opinion, share it. I would love to hear it. Yeah.
That's it.
All
right, guys. See you next week.
Peace.